Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. I've got this Winchester rifle that I'm looking to sell.
Looks like a pea shooter to me, man.
I came to the pawn shop today to sell my Winchester rifle from the 1800s. I'd like to sell it just to help out my grandmother. I'd like somewhere in the $3,000 range.
So you're not from around here?
No, a little further south.
Okay. So where'd you get this at, man?
It's actually been passed down from generation to generation. This has wound up in my hands. I'm looking to sell it and get some money for it.
So what can you tell me about it, man?
It's from the late 1800s. That's what I've been told anyway.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's kind of when these octagon barrels and stuff were really popular.
Okay.
I mean, one of the cool things about Winchester is they're an American company. At one point, we're probably one of the greatest gun makers in the world.
Right, okay.
They've got a huge, huge history. One of the most important things about Winchester is this mechanism right here.
Okay.
They can get however many shots off in a rifle as opposed to the whole dropping the ball down there, packing it in. You could actually shoot a shot at a guy, and by the time he was able to load up his musket, you could shoot him 5 or 6 times.
Sure.
Winchester is a huge name in firearms. The Winchester repeater is known as the gun that won the West. It played a huge role in the hands of Western settlers.
Now, this particular gun, on the other hand, isn't a repeating rifle. This was single shot. You'd load the bullet in there, close it up, shoot the gun, kick it back out, throw another one in. So it's kind of an earlier stage gun, but it's still way faster than the old muskets.
Okay.
It's a .22 long caliber, which is really small. I mean, it's one of the smallest bullets they make. And it's made by Winchester. There's just tons of people out there that love them and have to have them.
It's great.
So, I mean, generally, it's a pretty easy sale.
Okay, that's good.
Any idea of what you're looking to get out of it?
2,500 bucks.
All right. I got a few concerns, man. I don't know how old it is. I really have no idea what something like this was worth. If you don't mind, man, let me grab my dad real quick and see if he knows anything more about it.
Sure.
Hey, Pops, come here real quick.
I'm not too worried at all. If someone's expertise is on the rifle and I'm a better chance of possibly getting more money out of it, then that's great.
Come look at this gun for me. .22 caliber Winchester. What do you know about it?
Sometimes Corey calls me over for a little help, especially with guns. I've tried teaching him, but it just goes in one ear and out the other. That one right there is a model 1885 Winchester. It was designed by John Browning. He designed the best hunting rifles in the world. The first large machine guns the United States Army had, he designed.
Wow.
Odd thing about him, there's a million guns named after him, but he was never successful in making guns. John Browning had over 100 different gun patents, but most of his designs were actually manufactured by different gun companies. Even though Browning designed this .22, it was built by Winchester. So what's up?
I mean, it's a .22. It's such a small caliber. I mean, what are you going to hunt with it or kill with it?
It's not really a hunting caliber. What this is made for is target shooting. When you're competition shooting and you're practicing all day long, there's 2 things you want: a really accurate gun and really cheap ammo.
How accurate was it?
With a good shooter and good ammo, you could shoot quarters at 50 yards.
Wow. Are you sure, man?
Yeah, this particular rifle, extremely accurate gun. The really super rare thing about this is it has an octagon barrel.
Okay.
It was more money, so hardly anyone bought them like that, which makes it a lot rarer and a lot more collectible.
Okay, cool.
And it's in really, really good condition. I mean, it's still the original stock, the original butt plate. The bluing's really, really good. I mean, it's just in really good shape.
How old is it?
They're easy to date. It's a low 5-digit serial number, so early 1890s.
How much is it worth?
$3,000 or $4,000 we can get out of it.
Wow.
All right, nice talking to you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, you guys figure it out. Make sure we make money. I love Winchester rifles. This one's in great shape, so I hope Corey makes the right decision.
So, you heard what he said. I mean, what do you think you want for it?
Yeah, I'm looking for $2,500 for it.
I'll go 1,000, man.
Your father's just said that it's worth $3,000 or $4,000. I'm sure you can do better than that.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, with Winchesters, people want the bigger calibers. They want the guns that Wyatt Earp used. 1,500 if you want it, man.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, deal. Chum right, Chum.
I'm glad my dad was around to look at this gun, because I wouldn't have guessed it was worth so much. Now I'm dying to take it out and fire it to see if it's really as accurate as he says it is.
At 50 yards, this gun is just as accurate, if not more accurate, than your AR-15s and everything else.
Really?
I'm telling you, I can put it within the size of a $50 anywhere on that target.
All right, Pops, you've been talking all day like you're Annie Oakley, so I brought an old man coin. See if you can hit it.
We sell those for 60 bucks.
Yeah, and I know you're not gonna hit it, so that's the point. If you do, I'll pay for it.
All right, fine. Hope you got 60 bucks cash on you, plus tax.
Come on, Rick, 3 shots. If you win, I'll even buy you lunch. But if you miss, you're buying me lunch.
I'm fine with that. Go put the coin out there.
To be able to hit a $50 at 50 yards, that's stuff people do in movies. There's no way my dad can do it. I mean, it isn't like this guy's out practicing with a gun every day.
Dead center, no problem.
I don't think you're gonna be able to hit it, Pops, not from this far away.
I don't know, I just got to sight it in. That's all I got to really do.
Strike 1.
All right, I'm just getting dialed in. I'll get it this time.
Oh, strike 2.
I kind of feel bad for you right now, Pops. You can't hit with your cool gun.
Watch this.
I don't believe it.
Damn it. You got lucky there.
There was no luck involved whatsoever. 60 bucks and I like Mexican.
I don't got any money on me.
You just said you'd buy me lunch if I hit it.
Not today.
Sometimes I can't stand these kids. I know I'm not going to get the 60 bucks for Corey, and Chum's never going to buy me lunch.
What do we got here?
I got an old Stevens shotgun, 3 triggers. It's been in the family for about 60 years. I travel around the country with my line of work, and I've been toting the shotgun around for the last 15 years.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an insurance adjuster.
Sounds like you should have a briefcase, not a shotgun.
I came to the pawn shop today to see what kind of money I can get out of my rare 3-trigger, 12-gauge shotgun. I hope today I get a check for $100,000. One thing that I think is really cool about the shotgun is because of the 3rd trigger, is the one that opens up the breech.
Okay, so instead of the little lever on the side, they use that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I believe it was made for somebody special. That's all hand engraved right there.
Oh, absolutely. Stevens, they made good rifles. They made excellent shotguns. We get Stevens guns in here every now and again, but this 3-trigger model shotgun is something you only hear about. It's rumored Wyatt Earp had one. It's definitely badass.
How old is this shotgun?
I would put that at about 150 years old.
It's in really good shape. What you have here is you got a barrel that's made out of Damascus steel. I mean, Damascus steel comes from Damascus, Syria, and there's a few things with the steel there that just made it better. You can see kind of like the wavy lines in the barrel. Pretty much what they would do is they would take wire, wrap it around a solid piece of steel, and heat it up and hammer it till it became one solid piece of steel. Real expensive process, at the time, the best steel in the world. So do you have any idea of what you're looking to get out of it?
100,000.
Are we just shooting in the dark there?
Nobody's ever seen one before.
I've never seen a 3-trigger shotgun in all my life. For all I know, the thing could be worth tens of thousands. On the flip side of that coin, it could be worth absolutely nothing. Would you mind if I called a buddy of mine down to have him take a look at it?
That'd be fantastic.
All right, man, appreciate it. I really want this thing, but when you're dealing with a gun that's this old, lots of things can affect the value. And the last thing I want to do is make an offer and find that I'm way off. Jamison, how you doing, man?
Hey, Big Hoss, how's it going?
Going good.
I've been a gun appraiser for approximately 16 years and specialize in antique firearms, particularly Western firearms like Colts and Winchesters. Well, Corey, I have to say this is one of the rarest shotguns that I've ever seen. I've only seen maybe 4 or 5 in about 16 years of doing this. And most of them, they're unengraved. It's all on the frame and also on the trigger guard. Very nice scroll engraving.
I mean, I kind of figured that to engrave it and make it look that good, I'm assuming you had to be kind of a wealthy guy to own it back then.
Well, reasonably wealthy. I think people back then appreciated firearms more than they do now in a way because they were a sense of livelihood. This shotgun was used for hunting primarily. It does capture your attention with the 3 triggers. Other than having the front trigger unlatch the barrels, it's pretty much a standard hammer shotgun. They were very good quality for that period. This gun's seen a lot of wear, a lot of use. This might be a repair. You can see where the grain doesn't quite match, so it might be a little splice right here. You can see the butt is really worn, like it's been used quite a bit. It does have pitting on the barrels. This gun would classify to me in fair condition.
Well, hold on there. How would you rate that as not being in excellent condition? It's 150 years old.
Doesn't
How
matter.
many have you seen?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, sir. You know, in the gun trade, it has to be in really, really mint condition. I think there's a misconception out there that rarity is always worth money. Most of the time, it needs to be old and in excellent condition.
I just don't know what it's worth.
That's to be expected. It's unusual. Most people wouldn't know what it's worth. This gun, in the condition that it's in now, would be worth about $700 to $1,000.
How much?
$700 to $1,000.
There's no way.
If it were in much better condition, it would be worth a lot more money.
How much more?
If it were in really nice shape, maybe $2,000 to $3,000, and I'm saying that maybe.
Jimison, thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot, sir. I don't think he will get a better price. If he sells it to anyone who knows firearms, they're not going to give him much more than that for it.
If you're gonna hold me to make you an offer, I'm gonna offer you around 500 bucks.
There's no way. I've done turned down 2,500. I honestly would like $10,000.
If I were you, I would chase down the guy that offered you 2,500 and shake him down for it. I think maybe the 3-trigger thing, it might have just not been practical, which could have been why they stopped making the 3-trigger models. So you want the 500 bucks?
No, I can't take the 500. It's worth more than that just to show the people, my friends, when they come to visit.
You know, man, it's been in your family this long, you might as well
Sure.
keep it for another 60 years.
I'm going to continue doing my research. In my own heart, I know it's worth more money.
How can I help you?
Well, what I've got is a late 1700s tap action over-under Flintlock 4-barrel pistol.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my 4-barrel pistol. My uncle had it, and then he gave it to my father, who then gave it to me. I really don't know how much the gun is worth, but I'm hoping that they can shed some light for me.
It is neat.
The reason I think this gun is so cool is because of all the engraving that is done on it. On the sides here, it says R. Clark. The other side has got London. So it was manufactured in London.
Okay.
And I don't know what number 102 means.
That was probably the gun maker's serial number he put on it.
Think so?
He might have made a few hundred of these, and this was number 102. I don't know.
And each barrel is clearly numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Will that shoot all 4 barrels at the same time?
I mean, it could shoot 4 at a time. It was designed, though. You'd pull the hammer back, which is broken, and this right here should be spring-loaded. You can make it a 2-shot pistol. When it's like this, you only have the 2 holes for the barrels exposed. Okay, so when you shoot it, just these top 2 barrels would go off. And then you could black this back down, turn this, and now there's that extra powder you had hidden away in there.
Right.
Cock the hammer back and shoot it again. Now the bottom 2 barrels will go off. So it was one of the original multi-shot guns.
I
You
got
actually shoot it twice.
I got you.
For the 1700s, this was a pretty high-tech gun. But this is some of my problems with it, okay? You're missing the top half of this bolt that would normally hold the flint.
Right.
And we have, the spring is broken. There's a piece of spring steel that holds that down. It's in rough shape. What do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
Okay, and how much did you want for it?
I don't know, because I don't know the value of that gun at all.
You know, I'm thinking it's probably worth $500-600,
Okay?
but it could be a lot more, okay? I would like to get an estimate on how much it would be to fix it, to make it actually functional, because if it's functional, people are gonna wanna buy it.
Right.
It'll make it worth more money.
Right, okay.
Okay, so let me call a buddy of mine in here, get a little bit better idea on the gun, and then I'll give you a price.
Okay, thank you.
Even though it's beat up, I'm still interested, because it's an unusual and cool old gun.
Jimison, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
how's it going, Corey?
Always good.
Rick,
How's things?
what do you got today?
An old 4-barrel pistol by some dude named Clark.
Well, that's about sums it up. The guys usually call me down here for antique weapons. Everything from World War II prior to that, pretty much, is what I do. Well, I've been in the antique gun business for about 16 years, and I can tell you that you do not see many of these come up. And it is by R. Clark. You know, Clark was in business with his son from 1790 to 1820. And because it doesn't say R. Clark and Son, I suspect it means it was probably done before his son was in the business.
And right around that time period, the English guns were the best in the world, right?
That's correct. And I would say it dates somewhere to 1785 to 1790. You know, during the 17th, 18th centuries, everybody wanted some kind of weapon, you know, to defend themselves with, and they wanted something that would be ready to shoot if they got robbed. So the barrels would have been loaded prior to putting onto the gun so that they would be actually ready to shoot. 4-barrel flintlocks are very rare. At the time, it was the top type of gun that was made. It gave you a backup if you missed the first one and hopefully keep you from being robbed. It has the maker's name on the side here, and this side has his address on it, which is 102 Cheapside, London.
So that's not a serial?
No, that's not a serial number. It's a matter of advertising. You know, if you made a fancy gun or a really nice gun, they would know where to go.
Okay. Do you have any idea what that would cost back in 1780?
Probably pay 3 or 4 pounds for it back then.
Back then, it was a pound in England was literally a pound of silver.
Really?
That's a lot of money nowadays.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Rick, what are your concerns about this weapon?
What's it worth, and would it be worth it to get it fixed?
This gun has obviously seen better days. The upper half of the cock is missing, which makes it unoperable. And it's supposed to be spring-loaded so that when the flint strikes it, it goes back in its original position. So that is an issue. I've seen guns like this in really nice condition go for $3,000 to $5,000 in the case. But this gun, in the condition it's in, I'd say is worth about $700 to $1,000 if you're lucky. And to spend the money to have it rebuilt wouldn't bring back that money in any form.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, man. You're the best.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah. This gun did not have collector condition. There were parts missing, parts replaced, so it's not the kind of gun a collector would pursue.
So how much would you be willing to pay for it?
Okay, I mean, the problem is it's a non-operable gun. It's just not worth fixing it. It's what I originally thought. I'd give you $500 for it.
But it's a pretty gun, though.
It's a pretty gun, but it's also pretty beat up, and I mean, it doesn't work.
600?
What do you think?
How many old English guns have we bought over the years, and how many do we have in the case now?
I don't have any right now.
I mean, they all sell eventually, right?
All right, $600.
Deal.
Okay.
All right, come with me. Let's do some paperwork.
I was hoping I'd get more, but, you know, 600 I can live with.
How can I help you?
I've got a rifle I'd like to show you. This is a rifle that was involved in the Hatfield-McCoy feud.
You're talking about the Hatfield-McCoy
The
feud.
Hatfield-McCoy feud, one in the history books.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
I came to the pawn shop today to try and sell my Winchester rifle. It was involved in the Hatfield-McCoy feud. I'd like to sell the rifle to help my son with a down payment on a house. I'd be asking $19,000 today, and the least I would take is $12,000.
Where did you get this thing?
This is passed down from my great-grandfather to my dad to myself. Cap Hatfield, the owner of this gun, was running across the land being chased by the McCoys. Horse went lame. My great-grandfather traded the gun for a fresh horse.
That's cool. Literally, I mean, it's like one of the most famous feuds in American history. I mean, they've made movies about it. It's been in television series. It's just about everything. The Hatfields and McCoys lived right along the West Virginia-Kentucky border and fought against each other during the Civil War. While no one knows exactly how the feud got started, we do know a lot of people got killed. What's that right there?
This is the provenance on this gun.
Okay.
This is from my grandfather, notarized with the Kentucky notary.
And signed by your grandfather?
Yes.
So you're saying this belonged to Cap Hatfield?
Cap Hatfield, yep. Devil Ance's second eldest son.
Now, Devil Anse Hatfield, he was the ringleader. He was in charge of, let's go get some McCoys. Cap was definitely involved in the feud. He actually killed some of the McCoys and some of the other people.
Cap Hatfield killed 7 people, and hence we have the notches on the barrel.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Or it could just be a coincidence that there's 7 marks on the barrel there. A 92 Winchester is pretty rare. And just 2 years later, they came out with a Winchester 94, which most people consider like the best lever action they ever invented. If this gun was really part of the Hatfield-McCoy feud, it could be worth a ton of money. I'll probably have to hire some extra security to keep collectors from mobbing this place just to get at it. So I really hope we can authenticate it to confirm it's legit. This is in rough shape. The action's broken. The hammer's supposed to stay back. Obviously, there was a whittling contest of some sort. We got grind marks right here. All the bluing's gone.
Yeah, it's patina, there's no doubt about it.
So what do you want to do with it?
Well, I'm considering selling it if the price is right.
And how much were you looking to get out of it?
19 grand.
If the story is true, you're talking some good money here. Let me have someone come down and take a look at it.
Okay.
All right.
I feel it's a good idea that we bring in a second opinion. I think it would help verify some of the information we're trying to prove.
Hey, Craig, how's it going, man?
Rick, how you been?
All right. This is what I called you about. A rifle supposedly belonging to one of the Hatfields from the Hatfields and McCoys.
May I?
Go right ahead.
All right. The guys call me down here when they have a question about a firearm or military antique that has the potential to be historically significant.
So you're familiar with the Hatfield-McCoy feud, right?
Absolutely.
My understanding, started over a pig and then just sort of escalated from there.
I don't think the pig story's true. I heard Civil War feud. There were a lot of theories. Some of these guys didn't even know why they were shooting each other. They just knew, that's a McCoy, I gotta shoot him. The Hatfield-McCoy feud started after the Civil War and went through the 1890s. Some say it continued beyond that. No one really knows. So Mark, tell me how you got this gun.
It was passed down through my family from my great-grandfather. Cap Hatfield was being chased across his land. His horse went lame. My great-grandfather traded his lame horse for the gun and has been in the family ever since.
Rick, what are your concerns?
Do you think it's legit?
The letter's got the serial number 134637, and we have 134637. This is a real 1892 Winchester.
All right.
I don't see a lot wrong with it other than it's in fairly rough condition, to be kind.
Is the provenance enough for you?
Rick, the provenance is good, but it's not 100%. If it went to 100%, you'd be talking big money.
So what do you think?
What I'm looking at here is a gamble. Listen, Al Capone's pistol just sold at auction for $100,000, okay? And I will tell you the provenance was not quite as good as this, but the reason it's a big gamble is because standalone, the rifle's worth $1,000, $1,500. Let me just take this away for a moment, okay? If you are into the gamble, the risk and reward, in other words, if you buy the story, you have potential for a lot of reward. Because if it checks out and the provenance improves, for example, maybe you get lucky enough and find Cap Hatfield, you know, posing with the gun, it could be worth $20,000, $30,000.
Okay.
But say you pay $5 grand for it. If it doesn't check out, you're out $4 grand because this is about a $1,000 rifle.
He wants $19,000 for it. Would you pay that?
No, I would not.
What would you pay for it?
If I was a gambling man with the story as it sits, do I think it's worth $5,000 to $10,000? Yes.
Okay.
Again.
Depends on whether I want to gamble.
That's what it comes down to.
All right, well, thanks, man.
Rick, it's really hard to say. How much do you value the story? It's a very subjective question. It's worth more than a Winchester model 1892 that you'd find at a gun show. How much more? That's the big question.
So I guess the question now is, are you a gambling man?
When the odds are in my favor. That's when I'm a gambling man.
Okay.
You know, in this business, your reputation is everything.
Sure.
With no reputation, I don't have a business. So, I'm not gonna risk it.
I appreciate you looking at it.
All right, have a nice day.
We weren't able to make a deal today, so I think we'll just keep the gun in the family for now, and we'll work on some more documentation, see if there's something out there we've missed, potentially with a museum or going back to the through the family archives a little further.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I've got this Colt Paterson that I'm interested in selling. I think this might be a prototype.
That's really, really cool.
I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my Colt Paterson prototype. I'd like to buy a house closer to my son who lives in California. I would hope to get somewhere in close to $100,000.
Where did you get this?
Auction company had this on the internet, and when they were advertising it, they called it a Colt belt model. And from the picture, it just didn't look like a belt model because of the location of these two screws in the center of the frame, which tells me that it maybe was not one of the guns that was a production model.
An actual Colt prototype would be a big deal. This is the gun that started it all. This was the first reliable revolver. For hundreds of years, they were trying to make multi-shot guns. But the problem was they were terrible. There was the pepper boxes. It was 5 or 6 barrels, and you had to hand rotate them after every shot, which by the 6th shot, the entire thing was like blazing hot. And if you touched it, you would burn your hand. And they just never got the design right until this came along. Samuel Colt is one of the biggest names in guns. His multiple-shot revolver first got big with the Texas Rangers. They used them to conquer the last remaining sections of the Wild West. I mean, it's a neat design. It was made to just fit in your pocket without getting hung up. That's why the trigger tucked in, and then once you pulled it back, you were ready to go. I can tell you what, it's got very little use on it. Generally, these things were beat to death. I've never seen a Colt Paterson prototype before. This would be like a holy grail item for gun collectors. How much did you pay for it?
About $4,000.
Okay. My big concern is it's not real. The wear pattern right here should be just as bad as it is over here.
I think it's a prototype because of the position of those screws.
If it's a prototype, it could be worth anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000. Let me get someone down here to take a look at this thing.
Okay. I'm really anxious to see what he can tell me about the gun. Hopefully it is a good one. We'll find out.
Hey, Rick.
Jameson, how's it going?
All right, here you might have a Colt Paterson there.
Maybe, but this guy right here is absolutely convinced it's a prototype.
Okay. I'm an antique firearms appraiser, and I appraise firearms that are made before 1898. Well, there's probably no gun company in the world that's more recognizable than Samuel Colt. Basically, he made his fame by developing the Colt revolver.
Yeah.
Colt had a factory in Paterson, New Jersey, and basically that's where these guns were made, and that's why they're called a Paterson. You know, Sam Colt was one of the people that helped create the idea that every family, every person should have a gun for self-defense. I'm sure you don't see these that often. What are your main concerns about it?
My big concern is the wear on this pistol is completely wrong. But I know if it's a genuine prototype, it could be worth some ridiculous money.
That's correct. Let me take this book out here and let's make some comparison. Now, this book is the Paterson Colt book. It's written by R.L. Wilson. This is the definitive book on Colt Patersons. Well, let's just lay that gun down there and make some observations. Look at the angle of the back strap here on this gun, and look at the angle here. This is much more severe. The lug on this barrel is much bigger than the one here. If you lay it on, look where the lug comes out on this. Now, if you look at all the models in this book, none of them look like this.
To me, it still looks like it's a prototype because of the position of those screws.
This screw right here appears to be a modern screw. You know, all these screws back then were handmade.
So, is it real?
In my opinion, it's not real. Everybody has those pipe dreams of finding something that's one of a kind in the bushes, so to speak, but that's pretty much a myth.
I would have loved for this thing to have been real and me give you $50,000 for it. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen today. Thanks.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm disappointed. I wish it was the real thing. I was telling myself continually, don't get over-enthused about it. It may be a fake.
Every once in a while, I get a crazy lead on something I just have to follow up on. And a couple of days ago, Alex, my weapons expert, called to tell me he's got something I'm going to love lined up across the pond. But it's really super secret. So I hopped on a plane, and I'm here in London. Alex has a long-standing relationship with an antique arms and armor dealer here in London, and we're gonna go in there, we're gonna take a look. Maybe I'll buy something, maybe I won't, but it's gonna be a fun day.
Rick, meet the Finers. Peter's the father. Rolly and Red also work with him, much like I work with my father. And in fact, Peter and my father have been friends for about 40 years, so I've known this family a long time.
From the looks of it, you definitely have some incredible stuff here.
If you'll follow us through into our back room, some of the rarest pieces we have in our back room.
So that's where you keep the good stuff?
The better stuff, yeah. Follow me.
All right.
The business is a family business which was started over 50 years ago by my father. Essentially, we deal in arms and armour from Roman and Greek times all the way through to the 19th century. We were excited when Alex called. We were very happy to see them. We certainly knew we had some pieces which might interest them.
Oh, so this is where the real fancy stuff is at.
A lot of the pieces here have fascinating provenance, some of which is royal. One of the pieces I'd like to show you guys is this pair of pistols here by John Christie.
That is some crazy work.
Made in Scottish style by a Scot, but made actually in his own private workshop in the Tower of London. George III commissioned John Christie to come down from Scotland to make dress pistols and such like for diplomatic gifts.
You'd never fire anything like that.
No, they weren't really designed to fire. They were designed to look good in basically informal wear, right?
Although they were completely functional.
Sure.
No maker would ever make a pair of pistols, you know, unless they were purely functional. Interestingly, they have a proof mark just here, which is actually the private Tower of London proof mark, which was mostly done for royal pieces.
Okay. What are they made out of? I'm assuming steel barrels?
They're all steel, and then these are gilt brass stocks. Very unusual, very, very rare. They have a wonderful, grotesque face on the butt of the pistols there.
And all of this, how is all of this work done?
This is all engraved, chiseled and engraved, yeah.
Can I pick one up?
Yeah, sure.
It makes you feel royal. Yeah, that's just amazing.
And the style of these pistols is traditionally Scottish.
It's purely Scottish. You don't find all steel pistols anywhere else, really, in the world.
That is pretty incredible. What's that one right there, the ivory one?
It's not ivory, no, that's staghorn. So this is made in 1600, and it's made for the Saxon court in Germany. It's one of only a few that have ever come onto the art market. This is a walnut stock that's inlaid with staghorn, and then the decoration is dogs and grotesque faces, chasing rabbits and so on.
So that's a wheel lock?
This is a wheel lock, about 1600 in date, yeah.
And wheel locks typically are quite a bit bigger.
They are. That's probably a half scale.
So the purpose of making it smaller was probably for a boy or
probably
a youth?
For a boy, yeah.
Hey, check this thing out.
It's beautiful. What's really interesting about the mechanism is you wind it, and this is a tightly wound spring that starts, once you let it go, it starts to spin, and there's a little door here. That door opens up and creates sparks. So the wheel's spinning, the pyrite's touching down on it, it goes, and all the sparks come up, which lights the priming powder, which fires the gun.
Extremely complicated.
Incredibly complicated. How many did you say? 3?
I believe only 3 have ever come onto the art market. Yeah.
So how much is the wheel lock?
The wheel lock's £140,000.
Okay. I think I'll pass on this one, but how much are these?
They're £100,000.
£100,000?
Yeah. And they tick all the boxes. They have a great name, you know, great maker, great condition, and they're beautiful. They're works of art.
So would you take £80,000 for them?
No, Rick, I wouldn't take £80,000, but I would take £90,000 for them.
Would you take $85,000? It's like $105,000 American.
I'll take £85,000. You have a deal.
All right, sweet.
You just bought those.
Oh, yeah, I bought them.
You just bought those. I mean, they're fantastic. I'm thrilled.
Well, thanks for bringing me here. They're absolutely amazing.
Appreciate the business.
Sweet.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
All right. I shouldn't be in here any longer. I might buy something else.
I might want to stay, though.
Hey, how can I help you?
I'd like to try and sell this Colt Revolver.
This is cool. Do you know much about it?
I know it's an old piece. I want to say 1800s.
This is a very early Colt single-action army. This is 1870s, and everyone wanted them. And they also had the world's greatest advertising campaign. God made all men, and Colt made them all equal.
I came down to the pawn shop today to sell my Colt revolver. I don't know much about Colt revolvers. Mine looks old, and I'm hoping it's worth a lot of money. If I'm able to sell the revolver today, I'll probably just take the family on vacation, maybe a cruise or something.
The Colt single-action army really was just incredibly revolutionary. I mean, this was the most high-tech thing around in the 1870s. Before this, it was, you've seen the old movies, them, you know, packing the guns with gunpowder and putting a ball in this. This had cartridges. This was super accurate. This had interchangeable parts. This shot straight. It didn't break. I mean, it was just a high-quality gun. And this is an incredible set of grips. You have a Federal Eagle here. You have the shield, the lances. These were twice as much money as any other comparable gun to them. This is the dream gun of every Colt collector. If you have ever seen a Western, you've seen this gun. I want this thing, I want this thing, I want this thing, but I have to make sure everything checks out. So where did you get this thing?
I'm a bail bondsman, and somebody put it up for collateral, and they never paid off the bond, so they surrendered it. There's an appraisal on it. I took it in for $25,000. That's what they owe. That's what I'd like to get.
Okay, and they're saying an obvious factory reversal of the numbers. It's often the case with arms engraved and nickeled. So you want $25,000 for this?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I have someone take a look at this thing? I mean, I just have a lot of questions on the gun. I mean, it's really weird that you have 2 serial numbers on the gun, but if everything checks out, maybe we can make a deal.
Great.
Okay? Hang out 5 minutes, I'll get him down here, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I'm a little excited and a little nervous to hear what the expert has to say. He might devalue it. Then again, he might increase the value of it.
Oh. It's a pretty neat gun. My big fear with things like this is usually when it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. What do you think?
I mean, at first look, it's gorgeous. What's really nice about this is a known pistol. This has been in 2 books, and one of them is the Colt Bible. So, it's a single-action Army, 7.5-inch barrel, which was the standard cavalry length. The single-action Army changed everything. I mean, this is the gun that won the West, also known as the Peacemaker, the Colt 45. I mean, this started it all.
Cool.
The grips are the thing that makes everybody go, wow. You see this here, this high relief, these are Civil War scenes. Colt didn't make that grip. There was a retailer, the largest retailer of firearms in the United States was Schuler, Hartley, and Graham. This style grip is extremely rare. You see it more on older pistols, percussion pistols, but on a single-action Army, this grip is, these are hen's teeth.
All right. But there's some really weirdness with the serial numbers.
Most Colt collectors go, I want all matching serial numbers. But I think it's a pretty fair assessment to say, look, these were hand-stamped. They were making them thousands and shipping them out, and that could just be a simple mistake. It could drive the value down a bit, but there's so much right about this beautiful gun that, you know, for me, I would still want it.
So we have an 1876 really fancy Colt.
You got a piece of magic here.
Okay. So what is this piece of magic worth?
I would say that at auction, I would safely guess that this would sell for $35,000. If it went above 50, it wouldn't really surprise me.
Wow. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit less than that, but I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a beautiful piece.
Okay, well, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
This gun is an excellent buy for the shop. The model is known as the Peacemaker, but if Rick can get a good deal, it'll be known as the Moneymaker.
All right, so 25, no problem. Amy, what's your best price?
You give me $40,000, I walk out the door.
No, if at 40,000, you're walking out the door with the gun.
Even though you can sell this for 55, 60,000 here.
No, he says maybe.
35.
I go 26.
27,500. Gun's yours.
We got a deal.
Great.
I'll meet you right over there.
Honey, pack your bags, because I'm taking this $27,500, and I'm gonna take the whole family on vacation.
What is this?
This is a model 1894 Marlin.
This is like the nicest Marlin you could order out of the catalog, period.
Just about.
This is an amazing looking gun.
I purchased this gun from a guy, believe it or not, who was 88 years old. I saw this gun when I was 14, and I didn't get this gun until about 5 years ago. So that's definitely a long chase. You don't see guns that custom, that old. This is probably the best of the best that you can get.
Marlin, the guy who owned this company, originally worked for Colt, right?
Correct.
Every great gun company in the United States in the 1800s either worked for Colt or Winchester at one time.
The two big ones.
I know they became really huge in military contracts during World War I. They were like the #1 manufacturer of machine guns. That's some pretty amazing engraving on this thing.
Yeah. You got platinum and gold on the trigger. Up on the barrel, you also have some gold inlays and platinum inlays there. Special wood, special sights, case-hardened frame, shotgun butt. This gun's got like 9 extra features on it.
I mean, yeah, it does look to me like if you ordered it out of the catalog, you checked every box. See the order form now? I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. God, it's that much. I want that. Just looking at this gun, you can tell someone spent a hell of a lot of time on it. I mean, this gun is top-notch, right down from the gun itself to the amazing engraving. To say I'm interested would be an understatement. It's a great rifle. The action's still good.
You had to have good eyes to look through there.
Yeah, I'm just seeing blur. Oh, how much were you looking to get out of it?
I'm looking for $41,000.
You do have some little condition issues, which mean a big thing on a gun like this. We got a nasty gouge right here. You take a gun like this, you start digging it up and scratching it. It's not dollars that it's going away, it's thousands of dollars that are going away. I'm thinking like 20,000. I think that's a fair price on the gun.
It's a big drop from 41.
21,000. I take the gun, I take all the risk. I'm the one who's got to resell it, and you walk out here with money.
28,500.
21,000. That's the best I will go on it. 21,000. I got to make money.
25,000.
$21,000. I'm sticking to my guns.
Oh boy, the money sounds nice. I think I'll do it.
Okay, we got a deal, man. I'll meet you right up front. We'll write this up in just a bit.
I think we could have done better. Definitely gonna miss this firearm. You don't come across these guns too often. We'll put the money into another nice gun. He definitely got a good deal.
Earlier, a guy brought in a Bira gun. It's literally one of the coolest guns I have ever seen. I really want to shoot and maybe even buy this gun, but I have to be 100% sure when it was made. So I called in the guy with all the answers, Mark Hall Patton.
This is nice. A Bira. It was named for the king of Nepal. It's a Nepalese gun. It was actually developed by a General Gehendra Shamshur Jang Bahadur Rana.
How in the hell could you ever remember that?
I can remember that sort of thing. But what happened was in the late 19th century, Nepal wanted a machine gun. There were ongoing problems between Nepal and China, Nepal and Tibet, Nepal and India, and they knew that machine guns were coming out, and they wanted a machine gun. England actually ended up being the first country to recognize Nepal as a separate country. And so Nepal ended up being an ally of England. They ended up giving them a couple of million rounds of Martini Henry 577 450 cartridges. They were terrible rounds, so what do you do with them? If they don't work well, you give them to Nepal. And Nepal said, well, we got to do something with them, and General Gehendra developed this. I've seen pictures of this gun before, but I've never seen one in person. To be able to see this one today is really interesting, and it's in beautiful condition. This is an amazing piece. What's your concerns on this?
So this was definitely made in 1896 or 97. If it's after 1898, I can't buy it legally.
Yes, they were only made in 1896 and 1897.
All right, sweet.
Those are the only 2 years that they were produced. So they're completely legal to own. They are not considered a Class 3 firearm because it is not a machine gun like we think of machine guns today, where you hold down the trigger and it keeps reloading and firing. This fires only with each crank.
Cool.
Yeah, it is an amazing piece. Are you planning on shooting this?
Yeah, we're gonna take it out the firing range in the morning and meet up with Alex. Wanna come?
Yeah. You mind?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, I'd love to see this thing shot.
I will get some guys to help you load this.
I greatly appreciate that.
All right, no problem.
It weighs about 1,100 pounds.
I'm pretty excited to go out to the firing range. I think once he starts cranking that mechanism and it starts firing, he's going to be sold on the gun.
The Bira gun. This thing's sweet, Rick. I love this Bira gun. It's so heavy and big, and it's got these giant screws holding it together. It really does look like something that came from a mythical mountainous kingdom. So here's what the Bira gun is. The Nepalese, a man named Gahendra, was able to smuggle in an American Gardner gun out of England into Nepal, and he attempted to reverse engineer the American Gardner gun, and it became the Bira gun, but he made some radical changes. I mean, the most notable change is that Pan magazine. Now, this Pan magazine holds 120 rounds of this ammunition, which I brought today. This is the Martini Henry ammunition. Look at the size of that round. When that's fully loaded, it weighs 40 pounds, just the Pan magazine.
Whoa.
So Gahendra decided, unlike a Gardner gun that you actually push, he designed this crank to pull, and his theory was that it wouldn't fatigue the soldier firing it over time. So, in essence, he could be there all day, and he would be able to pull it longer than he could push it. The jury's still out on that. It is tremendously unique, and I have never seen one fire.
Who's first?
That's why I'm here.
Okay, you're the guinea pig.
Yeah. On this thing, I'm happy to be.
I got a tourniquet and a med kit, so if anything goes wrong,
we're ready.
good.
We're ready. Everybody got their protection on? Good, good.
Well, if it blows up, I'll take care of your wife.
I'm stepping back.
All righty.
Nice. Nice.
I've never loved a gun so much.
You got to try it down. This is sweet. This gun is amazing. When you are cranking that, you can feel every click, every tooth engaging in it. It's a really interesting gun.
All right, here we go.
This is awesome.
Nice. Right on target.
This thing is absolutely great. This gun is awesome. I mean, really, it's that cool. It looks really, really steampunk. It looks really neat. It looks really weird. It's a great showpiece. What's it worth?
Well, a few have been sold over the last couple of years. The market value for these is about $27,500.
Okay. So what's your best price on this thing?
I'm asking $30,000.
Okay, he just said they go for right around $27,000.
Okay.
And it takes a tremendous amount of real estate on my showroom floor. I'll give you 18 grand for it.
I can't do 18 grand. How about 26?
The fact of the matter is I got to resell this thing. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of people that are going to come in my shop every day. Hey, do you have one of those Bira guns from the Himalayas? 20,000 is the most I can do. It's the most I can pay and still make sense, plain and simple.
I can do 20,000.
All right, sweet. I am like a kid in a candy store. This is like one of the coolest guns I've ever bought in my life. I just have to test it a few more times. I could do this all day long.
think you're out of ammo.
Aw, crap. So a customer came in with a French Boutet shotgun from the 18th century. This thing is absolutely amazing. Any gun collector would absolutely love this. But I need to know what I'm getting into. So Alex, my gun expert, is coming by, and he's gonna let me know if I should take a shot. What do you think?
Holy moly. Can I pick it up?
Please.
This is stunning. So Boutet was the gunsmith in France in the 18th century and into the beginning of the 19th century. He was so good that he was the royal gunsmith to Louis XVI, who was the final king before the Revolution. And not only was he his gunsmith, but Napoleon made him his gunsmith. So the guy had a long career as basically the finest gunsmith, certainly in France, but many people would argue in the world.
Okay.
Let me just see the... So it's about probably a 50 or 60 caliber, which doesn't really mean anything in shotgun terms, but for people like today, you would say this is about a 20 or 22 gauge. It's muzzle loading, it's flintlock. I'd like to just see the... Oh, yeah. So what I'm doing there is just making sure that the springs are still good, and they certainly are. Yep, and so it's a double trigger. So one trigger fires one cock, the other fires the other. So you see Boutets in some of the finest museums in the world. There's a series of Boutets at the Met in New York. They are all over Europe.
So basically what we may have here is a one-off piece by one of the best French gun makers of all time.
The best French gun maker of all time, arguably the best gun maker in history.
Okay, any idea what it's worth?
So simple Boutets will start easily about $10,000. Okay. One like this, on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as decorative, this is about a 6. So they get very, very decorative. The one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to test it. If it fires how I believe it would, I'd be more comfortable evaluating it.
Do you mind meeting us out at the range with it so we can test it out?
Sure.
And we'll meet you out there, okay?
See you at the range, man. Yep. Let me grab a piece of paper. I'll write down the address for you.
Awesome.
I think my wife would get really mad if I came home and said, I saw a really nice Boutet at work today.
Hello, boys.
Hey. So the Boutet looks all polished up and ready to go?
The Boutet is shiny, yeah.
One of the things I have found in this direct sunlight is actually the barrels are also marked. So this barrel is marked Boutet, and then the other side, it's marked manufactured in Versailles, and it has a serial number 322. So that actually might be traceable, which is really nice to see on the barrels. So
all right.
That's an added bonus. I brought some shot. I've got some Triple F black powder. We're gonna load about 50 grains, which is a pretty light load for this, but just to be safe with it. And I set up some fruit targets.
Let's do this.
This shotgun is like a piece of art. Typically, I wouldn't fire this gun, but collectors search for firearms like this. And if it's successful, I do think it'll help the value.
All right, so I think I should shoot it?
I'll shoot it.
I have waited half of my life to shoot a Boutet. Let me try it.
Alex is gonna shoot it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
There we go.
That was good.
So it fires, it works, everything's perfect on it?
It functioned exactly as it should function. And I'm not surprised, because Boutet is the finest gunmaker of all time.
What do you think it's worth?
I think if this went to auction in this condition, I wouldn't be surprised to see it sell it for $30,000.
Damn. That much?
It's really nice.
Do you see the smile on my face?
All right, well, thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
Very welcome. And it was a pleasure, Dennis. Thank you for letting me fire it.
My pleasure.
All right. See you guys. Good luck.
Take care, bud.
All right. So you were asking 10. I'm assuming you want a little bit more now?
No, I want a lot more.
All right.
20. I think that's a pretty fair offer.
I'll give you 15 grand for it.
18.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 16 grand for it. And normally I pay you a little bit more, but something like this, I'm not gonna see money back for a year or two.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the level with you. It's a lot more than I thought I would get. We'll do 16.
All right, sweet.
All right.
All right, bring it back to the shop. We'll do some paperwork, and I'll get you paid. So, I now own a fine Boutet. Not that I haven't always had one.
It took you 50-something years to get one.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, I was in a while ago. I sold an item to you guys, some crabby old bald-headed guy.
You look like an honest guy, but I still don't trust you.
Must have been my dad.
Oh, how nice for you.
Couldn't agree with you more. What do we got?
This is an 1838 Colt Paterson pistol.
Who are you, Pistol Pete?
I am not Pistol Pete.
That sucks.
I'm a military and gun collector. I swap, buy, trade a lot of different guns. This was the first gun built by Samuel Colt. I'd like to get $15,000 for this gun. If pressed, I could probably go as low as $12,000.
So what's so special about this gun?
Before this gun, the only real reliable guns out there were the single shot cap and balls. This was the first successful repeating gun.
Yeah, this was the very first one that used a rotating cylinder for a single barrel. The cool thing about this particular piece is that this gun belonged to William R. Manning, who was a Civil War colonel. It's got William R. Manning's name engraved on it, on the grip there. Buffalo Bill got this gun from him at some point, returned it to his daughter, May Manning Lilly, and her husband, who was Pawnee Bill.
Forgive me, I don't know who Manning is. I know who Peyton Manning is and Eli Manning. That's about it.
They have to be direct descendants. I mean, I'm certain.
I don't know who this Manning is, but Pawnee Bill was a Western showman that did work with Buffalo Bill. We're talking about some of the most iconic figures in the Wild West. If it checks out, we got a major find here.
I think it's easily worth every penny of $15,000 in this condition with this story.
You know, it very well could be, my man. It all goes down to condition and serial numbers. And after all that, I mean, I have to be pretty cautious because last one of these I had come in was actually fake. Mind if I have a buddy of mine come down and check it out? Because, like I said, I can't give you a price on it.
He's not one of those college pukes, is he?
I'm sure he is. He's got that college boy look about him.
No, that would be great. I hope this college puke that they're bringing in doesn't tell me this gun is fake. I'll be quite disappointed.
Well, here we go, man. Colt Paterson pistol with some Buffalo Bill stuff attached to it.
Wow.
It's a nice piece.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the gun that started it all. This was the very first percussion revolver.
Right.
Colt charted new territory with the development of the Colt Paterson. They made about 1,000, and I would guess there are probably 100 left. They're very, very rare and very, very valuable. What's the story with Buffalo Bill?
This gun originally belonged to a William R. Manning, who was a colonel with the 50th Artillery Regiment from Georgia during the Civil War.
He was a Confederate.
He was a Confederate.
Okay.
Buffalo Bill got this gun from him at some point, returned it to his daughter, May Manning Lilly, and her husband, who was Pawnee Bill. It's pretty much laid out here.
Buffalo Bill is a big name in history, and if you've got a gun that can be even tangentially related to him, you're talking a lot of money. The box, I have no doubt, was sold by this family, and I have no doubt there was a gun in it. The question is, was this the gun in the box?
I see.
It does look like old engraving. Another thing you have to look at is the type style. Is this a modern font, or is it an antique font?
Okay.
The engraving does look old, so I'll give you that. Okay, Corey, what are your concerns?
Had fake ones come in before.
You've had fake Colt Patersons come in? Okay, yeah, there are fake Colt Patersons.
Once you add the whole Buffalo Bill thing to it, I just at a complete loss of what to even offer the guy.
There's a characteristic to the Colt Paterson. The barrel is, okay, the barrel's 7.5 inches long.
Were they standard at 7.5 inches then?
They made them 7.5 inches and they made them 9 inches. This is a standard barrel length, which is good. Now, we talked about this being an early gun. Let's look at the serial number. The serial number will appear usually in two places, and they're sort of hard to find places. pull the barrel off for me. I don't want to be the one that breaks this thing after, you know, there you go. Okay. Yeah, the first serial number is going to be right there. You got it there, and let's see what it says. And the serial number is 2.
Whoa, 2.
Is that good?
Well, let me put it this way. What's the most expensive pistol ever sold in America?
I don't know.
Colt Paterson, $1 million. Great condition. I mean, it looked brand new. If this gun is serial number 2, it's the second Colt ever made. It's priceless. Do you know what this gun is worth regardless of its condition if this is number 2? This is a really big deal.
Okay.
I mean, it's a really big deal. Let's look around for more serial numbers. There's usually one under the grip. And the number is bigger than 2.
How much bigger than 2?
936 numbers bigger than 2.
Oh, man.
Don't be disappointed. This is still a rare gun. You know, very shortly after this gun was made, Colt went bankrupt.
Yes.
One of the things that one of Colt's partners did was that he decided to recover his investment by sort of taking inventory and selling it. And what he did is he continued to assemble and sell Colt Patersons.
Okay.
And my opinion is that's one of these.
Okay, Colt went out of business.
Yes.
His partner grabbed all the boxes of inventory off the shelves and just started matching guns and putting them together.
Stuffing things together.
Basically, yeah. This doesn't become an undesirable gun. It just means it's got mismatched serial numbers.
Okay. That being said, what's it worth now?
Okay. The condition of the gun is what I would say is maybe poor plus, but there are probably about 150 to 200 Colt Patersons that even still remain. And that you have a story which I tend to believe. In other words, the totality of the package here to me says that the story is probably true.
Okay.
So that he was a colonel in the Confederate Army, that's a big deal. Buffalo Bill connection, big deal. With everything I've seen, positives, negatives, I'm probably gonna say 25.
100?
1,000.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
May I ask what you're asking?
More than I was when I brought it in.
I'll just say, not knowing that number, pay the money.
Okay.
Pay the money. You're not gonna get another chance.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care. Well, it's not number 2, but it's still a Colt Paterson. There were less than 1,000 of these guns made, and that means something. It means that it's a very rare gun.
Well, you heard what he had to say. What do you want for the gun?
I was asking 15. How about 19?
I'm thinking more in the 12 range.
Oh, God. Let's see. I bring in a gun and you want to rob me? 12 is way too low.
Give me another number. I'm not paying 19 for the gun.
Okay, how about 17?
How about we go back to what you originally wanted for it, and I'll give you 15.
15, huh? Oh, geez. Yeah, I can do 15.
Generally, we'll write you up.
I'm walking out of here with $15,000 green, and I'm gonna use it for my collection to get something I really want.
Earlier, a guy brought in a black powder peg leg gun that he says is from the early 1800s. Corey thinks it's some kind of movie prop, but I'm hoping it's legit. So I brought in my buddy Alex to help me out with this thing. I mean, I'm looking at this thing, and frankly, I'm stumped.
We have the Swiss Army knife of pirate legs.
I mean, intrigued is an understatement. Let me see this thing. So this is a peg leg with a gun in it. Wow. Look at this thing. I have never seen anything like a peg leg with a flintlock in it, ever. This thing is insane. So, want me to tell you if I think this is real?
Yeah, I just can't see this being a viable option for somebody.
All right, well, here's what I know. The lock, it's got the Crown GR for King George. King George died in 1820, so that's period for sure.
But that cloth on there is...
Yeah, well, that's a machine stitch all the way across. Huh. Ah, man, this is tough.
So is it real?
Well, I don't think it's a movie prop. I think it's much too sophisticated for it. I mean, it looks like it would function.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Sweet.
Here's the thing, this barrel is rifled. So if I was gonna make a movie prop, why would I bother putting a rifle barrel in it? Rifling is a twist that's grooved into the inside of the barrel, and what it does is it takes a pistol ball and it spins it, sort of like a football spins on a spiral and goes straighter. So if you're gonna make a movie prop, why use a rifle barrel? Just use an old piece of pipe. What would happen is if this was a British officer's leg and he was injured in battle, you're out to sea for months. Maybe the ship's carpenter made this, and they used recycled materials from products that they had on the ship. Wow, these are pipes for the ramrod in a Brown Bess musket. It's kind of an ingenious design because, you know, if you had a pant on and the bottom of your pant came down to the ankle, you have no idea that there was a pistol in there. So if you're in the middle of a battle, you need only bring up your leg that far and boom.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome.
Boom. You just pull this little lever and the pistol discharges.
So he wants 15 grand for it.
I can't answer that yet. You know, I got to research it, and if it fires, that'll help the value a lot.
Can you meet us at the range in the morning?
Sure.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Take care. If Alex wants to shoot it at the range, I think that will do nothing but help the value go up. I'm all for it.
What do we strap this to shoot it?
His leg.
Sort of like shooting like a handheld rocket. It's kind of big and cumbersome, but we'll see if it works.
All right.
I chose some targets, some cantaloupes, because this is a close-range weapon. There's no way to aim this. You just sort of point in the general direction and pull the lever and hope for the best.
Load up the leg.
I'm being conservative with this gun because I don't want an accident to happen. I'm using a little bit of powder and a smaller ball. Little pressure, less of an accident. Lots of pressure, big accident. So I'm going little.
All right, here we go.
You ready?
All right.
Yes!
Got a hit.
Went right through it. It fires. Yes! Now I've done my job, and it's between Rick and the cell. Does anyone else want to fire it?
Sure, I'll shoot it.
Nice.
You don't want to shoot it?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Well, some sweaty pirate leg was in there, and I'm just not into it. So I'll let you go ahead and do it.
All right, Rick.
All right. All right. Ready? Here we go. I got a flesh wound. I got a flesh wound. It fires. It's legit. I want to get it for the right price. I really want this thing. It is really cool. It's one of those things I put in the shop. People will want to take pictures next to it. What do you think it's worth?
Well, there's no other peg leg gun out there to compare it to, but it really works and it has an ingenious design, so what crazy collector out there wouldn't want this? I would say probably somewhere in the $12,000 to $15,000 range.
Awesome.
It's pretty amazing, Rick. I've never seen something like this.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck,
Alex,
Dennis.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So, what would you take for it?
I'm looking at 15.
No. There's no money to be made.
Come back at me.
8 grand.
10.
We go 9? This is a thing that looks great in the showcase. I think I might be able to find some crazy guy to give me a lot of money for it, but it's going to sit around for a long time.
Call it 9.5. Split the difference.
9,500? You got a deal. It's one of the coolest things I've ever owned.
Rick and Corey were laughing when I first came in here. I'm the one that's laughing now with a pocket full of money as I hop on my one leg out of here.
It's one of the weirdest things we ever bought.
Well, I know it's weird, but that's why it's so great. I mean, I'm just telling you, if you're 12 years old, would you think that was the coolest thing in the world?
No.
You're so lame.